introduction section. So we started with DevOps, and then DevOps life cycle phases, and also the tools available in overall DevOps cycle. And we discussed about waterfall and agile. And then we discussed about continuous deployment, continuous delivery, continuous integration, continuous development. So and also under the deployment, we discussed the difference between deployment tool and the configuration management tool. So the configuration management tool is a subset of deployment. So once the infrastructure is ready, then the configuration is supposed to start. So we have deployment tool, VRA and Terraform. And when it comes to configuration management tools, we have four tools: Puppet, Chef, Ansible, and SaltStack. But other than Ansible, remaining three tools are agent based. So we compared all the tools. So and then we discussed what is Ansible, and so what are the flavors of that. So Ansible Core, AWX, Ansible Tower. So the difference between all three we discussed last week. So any questions with the last week session? Okay, so I think silence I will take as a no. Alright, so today we will discuss about Ansible architecture and the version details and how to install Ansible core. So we will start with the Ansible core. So once we are, sorry, so once we are completely, learned about the Ansible modules and the Ansible playbook, roles, everything, then we can move it to AWX and then, Ansible Tower. So today we will discuss about architecture, version details, installation, configuration files overview, and what is host and how to use that host. So in Ansible inventory formats, we have we can create different formats in inventory, so we can learn about that, and also grouping of host within inventory, and answer what is Ansible modules, and so what's the client and management server connectivity. So ADA commands, variables, Ansible facts. So we will learn simple ADA commands. So this is the agenda for today and tomorrow. All right. So we'll start with the Ansible architecture. Ansible architecture is a very simple architecture when compared to other configuration management tools. So you are seeing my screen, right? It's visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for confirming. So Ansible is a simple architecture. So if you see here, these are the components available in the Ansible. So the first one is user. So user is nothing but the automation member who is supposed to create a playbook and manage the playbooks. So basically, it's an Ansible user who is responsible for the entire automation. And so user supposed to create the playbooks. So playbooks is a sequence of tasks, and the task executed in a sequence basis. So we can control the task, we can do the exception handling, we can do different operations. So and also we can get the server. So basically it's a management server and client server, right? Master and slave architecture. So we have to install Ansible only on the master, only on the management node or control node. So we can, so first of all, we have to understand. So it is using master slave concept. So master is here, management node, or we can call it as control node. This is the server which we need to install Ansible. So basically, Ansible core will be installed on the management server or node control node server. Okay. So the remaining servers. So suppose in your environment, you have 1,000 development servers, 1,000 UAT servers, 1,000 production servers. So even in the UAT, dev and prod, you might have 300 that 300. I'm just giving some high level information. So you might have 300 Ubuntu, and you might have 250 Windows, and the remaining 150 some other flavors. Let's say Unix. Or else I will give CentOS. I'm just using the same for. Oops, what happened? Was aligned. Wait, right. Okay, I'm just using the same count for UAT and production. So this is my overall, uh, you know, inventory, CMDB inventory. So usually all project, so the number of instances running on the project, it will be stored. It will be stored on the inventory. So CMDB inventory, right? So it might be any vendors they might use service now having CMDB, Remedy having CMDB, and some project they might have internal CMDB database. So so this is my environment. So this is my infrastructure, number of servers which is available. So I need to control all the machines from Ansible server. So we have to install Ansible core in any one of the servers. It might be any development server, it might be a automation server, dedicated automation server. You have to install your Ansible on dedicated automation server or any development server. So from that server, you need to control the entire infrastructure in your project. So it might have different flavors of OS. So you might have the DAT, you might have Ubuntu, Windows 2000. In Windows itself, we have a lot of flavors like 2016, 2019, 2022. Right. So even the DAT itself having 8, 9. So Ubuntu itself having so flavors. I mean versions. So you might have different versions, different flavors, and different environment. This is called environment, right? Development, VAT, and production. So each environment having different flavors of OS, different versions of OS. So anyway, you have to control the entire platform, entire infrastructure using playbook code as a code, right? So here, the management node or control node is the automation server. You have to install your Ansible core. So the remaining servers, so within your infrastructure, I mean within your CMDB, so is called client node. The entire so CMDB inventory servers are client nodes. So from the control node, you have to control all your client nodes. This is clear.
Yes.
So you might have the details. So from CMDB, you might have the entire list from cloud, right? So this is called the inventory data. You can what you have, you have to know the controllable devices, the controllable servers. It might be the servers, it might be the network devices, it might be the load balancers, it might be different devices. So even in this segregation, you might have one more level higher. So for example, you might have 500 application server. So under 500 application server, you might have 300 that and 200 Ubuntu, so like something like this. You might segregate this kind of things in your CMDB itself. So you might have 250, 300 BB servers. So based on the type of servers, you might have different flavors as well. So this is called grouping of instances, grouping of client nodes. Okay. All right. So here, the Ansible automation engine is a combination of inventory. So inventory is nothing but we discussed about the client node segregation, right? So this is called inventory. So where you need to control the devices. So you have to put all the controllable nodes. I mean the client nodes. So in the inventory and the modules. So Ansible modules is nothing but is a Python code. So we have lot of Ansible modules by default. So once you install Python and then Ansible in the server, so you can able to access, you can able to make use of the default modules which is available on the Ansible installation. So we have 1,000 plus modules. So you can use those modules for your requirement. You can use for AWS cloud, you can use for Azure, you can use for VMware, you can use for database, network, Nagios, monitoring. So you can use it for all the platforms, all the tools. So even if you know Python very well, you can modify the existing module and then you can make use of the newly created Python module. But mostly we can make use of the existing one. You you might not need to rewrite, recode or rewrite the existing module. So mostly the everything is already available. You just make use of the existing one, and you need to pass the corresponding parameters. So we'll learn about the modules in detail. So this is the high level architecture. So the next one is API. So API is the abbreviation is application programming interface. Application programming interface. So which mean, so consider you have a application like ServiceNow. So ServiceNow, how many of you used ServiceNow? It's a ticketing tool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so ServiceNow is a ticketing tool, which is an obviously it's an application, web application. So if you are working on ServiceNow, um, so from ServiceNow, what you can do, you can have different kind of um, sections, incident management, problem management, and demand management, and also we have change management. So we have a lot of things, right? So each section having its own forms. So if you click on incident management, you can able to view the incident number, the CA information, who is responsible, I mean who assigned to, and which team it's part of, and short summary, work notes. You can able to see the entire forms, right? So if you want to automate the application itself from outside of the application, so for example, if you are going to um, you know read the incident information. So if you want to read a particular information, a particular incident information, So you can do it from outside of application. For example, you can create a simple PowerShell code, you can create a Bash shell code, or you can create a Python. You can make use of Ansible. So we have, yeah, a lot of scripting languages, lot of automation tools available. So you can use any of the tools in order to automate the application platform. You need a interface in order to control the application. So that interface is called API. So API is you need to automate something on the application using a program. It might be a different program or scripting. So you have to control, or you have to automate the application platform. So we can learn about API in detail, when it comes to API management in Ansible section. The next one is plugins. So we have a lot of plugins in Ansible. So we will learn about this one also. That plugins is nothing but is a format you can able to see as part of the outcome of playbook. So we have a lot of plugins by default. We will learn about that one in Ansible configuration. So next one is you can use this kind of things, yeah, for servers or networking and other devices as well. So if you are going to automate some networking devices, you can use inventory, networking inventory. You can use Ansible modules. You can use API. You can use plugins to create the playbook, and then you can control the devices. Any questions? All right.
No, bro.
Yeah. So this one we already discussed. So the control node or master node is the main one which we need to install the Ansible. So the remaining and all consider as a client node or managed servers or managed devices. So inventory is a list of managed nodes that are logically organized. So we can create an inventory on the control node to describe host deployment to Ansible. So where you can create the inventory, we have to create the inventory on the control node or master node. I mean, is the Ansible where you are installing the Ansible is the control node. We have to create the inventory file on Ansible server, not on the client side. So the client side, the only you have to do is you have to do change only two things. So only on the SSH side you have to change two properties. So that's it from client side. So remaining and all we have to do it on the Ansible server. I mean control node. Okay. All right. So next one is version history. So so if you want to know the history of Ansible, so it is originally with Ansible Inc. Company. So his Ansible Works Inc. So it's founded on 2013 by these guys. So after that, Red Hat acquired Ansible in 2015 October. It's almost 8 years completed. So now we have a Ansible community team. Typically, releases two major versions in the per year. The flexible cycle release cycle, they don't have any standard release cycles, so they have flexible. So they are planned to release two versions per year. So the current Ansible version is 2.16. So usually if you are going to use some automation software, so I would recommend is to use n minus 1. So for example, n is the current version. So if you are going to use, you can use 2.15 n minus 1. So why I'm saying it is always recommended to use n minus 1. So uh, even the latest one might have bug fix, might have some issues. They will release the bug fix. They will release the security patches and all, but it is always recommended to go with n minus 1. So you can get the change logs on all, change logs on each version. So we have GitHub page. So under the GitHub Ansible community, you can able to find the change log for all versions. So if you see the support matrix, so as I told, last week, Ansible is based on Python, right? So it dependent with the Python. So it's on top of Python only. So you have to install Python. Even if you are not installing, if you install Ansible, it will automatically install the Python first, and then it will install the Ansible. So each version is associated with some Python controller. Some Python version. So if you are going to use 2.15 Ansible core, then it is associated with Python 3.9 to 3.11. And also it's we have PowerShell version also. Since from Ansible we can use PowerShell for Windows automation, and you can use Python for both Windows and Linux, and you can use Bash shell for Linux. So each version having its end of life, and the n-1 2.15 UOL is November 2014, 2024. Okay, that's why they released a 2.16 now, so which is going to UOL on next year only.
So the
Okay,
here controller
so
Python means
you
sorry.
yeah, so controller Python means the control node where you are installing the Ansible. So you no need to install a Python. If you are installing Ansible, it will install Python by default, and then it will install the Ansible. So that's a dependency with Python. That's what I mean.
Okay, because I'm running with 2.16,
Okay.
2.16 version. So if I run the if I run that version on Python 3.6,
Hmm.
will it be the compatible problem or it's a little while?
Okay, so your question is, you already installed Python
3.6.
older version
Yeah,
3.6. Okay,
yeah,
3.6, but on top of it, you are installing Ansible 2.15. Am I right?
yeah. Now I install 2.6. Yeah, well, 2.16. Yeah.
Okay, so you can install, but the thing is, even if you are installing, if it is having the elder version of Python, it will automatically upgrade it to the supported version. So yeah, okay, so how many of
So,
you
so you
having?
mean to say that? So you
Yeah,
mean to say there is no dependency between the versions of
yes,
inbuilt Python, which comes with Ansible, or we install a
yes. You,
additionally
you can,
we install a Python?
yes, you can upgrade the version also. It's fine. It won't impact anything.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, so now we are going to install the Ansible. So how many of you having the Linux flavors? Linux versions. So if you have any AWS, any cloud instances is fine. Others, if you have Oracle, there is one things like
VirtualBox.
virtual box. Yeah, correct.
VirtualBox.
Oracle virtual box also
Yeah,
fine.
I
So if you
I
have,
tried with VirtualBox
okay,
with the latest version of Ansible installed it here.
all right. So for the lab and for your exercise, so I don't have virtual box, so that's why I plan to demonstrate with the online tools. So we have some online lab available.
Cloud
So I
version.
would recommend, yeah, I would recommend to use for your labs. I would recommend to use cloud instances if you have ID. So or else you can use virtual box.
It would
So
work
even
on a
if you
VMware
don't
player
have,
also, right?
yes, yes, if you have VMware, Linux machines, it is fine.
Yeah.
So if you are working, on this VM also fine. So even if you don't have apps, these options, then you can use
Sir, we can able to hear background noise.
who is Natish.
Yeah, yeah. I will also know.
Yeah, please. Alright. So what I mean, so you can use your cloud instances for your lab. Others you can use your Oracle VirtualBox. Others, if you have your project related VMware, any VM machines is fine. Even if you don't have any things, then you can use online. So I will share the URL. I will put it in the chat as well. So we have online labs as well. So the thing is, if you are using online labs, the data will be erased. So you could not able to collect the previous data. So and also it's having 55 minutes of time. You can't extend the time, I guess. So I would prefer to use cloud instance Oracle or vSphere. So basically, you can able to store your playbooks and store your code in your locally. So labs you can't able to store. So that's why I recommend to use any local instances. Okay. So the instances might be in different flavors other than Windows. So only thing is you could not able to install Ansible on Windows machines. So, but you can install it on different flavors of OS. So OS may be Red Hat. Since it's a Red Hat product, it will your if you have the Red Hat OS, it will be fine. Others, if you have Ubuntu, also fine. Others, CentOS is also fine. So any Linux flavors is fine for installing the Ansible. So currently we are going to install only Ansible servers. So we have to manage the communication between Ansible and also one of the client. So obviously you need two servers. So one is the Ansible server and second one is the client machines to control from Ansible to client machines. So basically two devices required, two instances. So instances might supposed to be Linux. Okay, you have to create two instances. It's supposed to be Linux, and one is for Ansible management node, and the second one is for client node. So if you need to control more device, I mean more servers, you can create the instances as well. So one is the Ansible management, and two remaining servers are client nodes. So how many of you having these instances ready?
I have it on VirtualBox with Ubuntu.
Okay, okay, yeah. So if you don't have
I
it,
have
yeah, please.
yeah, I have one Red Hat machine and two Windows
Okay,
machines. I think that should be fine,
okay,
right?
okay.
To test.
That should be fine, but the thing is, so from Ansible to Windows machines, we have different communication should be established. So we will learn about Windows configuration later, not today,
No issues,
tomorrow.
no issues. I'll spin up another
Yeah,
Linux instance. Not a
yes,
problem.
yeah. So Probably you can do that. Otherwise, I would recommend to use the same machine for client as well. So what I'm telling, so if you have Ansible master, you can use the same master as a client. You got my point? You can do the
Got it.
configuration. Yeah. So master and slave in the same machine. You can treat as well. You can treat master and slave together. I mean, in the same machine. All right. So I'm going to use the online lab since I don't have that, you know, virtual machines. So if you don't have any virtual machines, if you don't have, cloud instance or agricultural box, so you can probably use the online labs. So I will ping you the URL in the chat. Please make use of that one. So it will take around 4 minutes. So we can install Ansible using command line. So the command might be different based on the flavors. So you are right. So in the Red Hat, typically we have to use yum install to install the softwares. But when come to Ubuntu, we have to use apt get, right? So the command itself, it's changing because of OS flavors. So if you're using the online lab, it is Red Hat machine. All right. Okay. So meanwhile, I will explain about to get the repository. All right. So how many of you used a Fedora project before? Any idea what is Fedora project?
As a project, not an idea. As a standalone, like a, how do you say? Like as a OS, I have used it, but it's like a downstream for
Uh,
Red Hat, I believe, right?
yes. So repository having the all packages. So OS packages and application packages also available. Uh, so the I mean, Fedora project is the open source community having the packages. So you can able to download and make use of the softwares from for Linux, especially from this Fedora project. So we have all the available packages from the latest version of 9. So we have different flavors, but the latest one is Apple release latest 9. You can download in your in your server, and then you can install it. Okay, so if you're using lab, it will be different. So this is for if you're using Red Hat, you can go with this option. I will ping you the command in the chat. So there are two methods. One is we have to download the packages. So you have to use RPM command. If you are using that, you have to use RPM command to download the package. Once you download it, so you can use yum command to install the Ansible. So the other way is, so you already have the Python, and then you can use pip command to install the Ansible. So pip is the module of Python. Using that module, you can able to install Ansible. So there are two ways you can able to achieve it. So anyone having any questions, please let me know.
Any difference between these two methods of installation?
Okay, if you already have the Python, then you can able to use the second command, pip command, to install Ansible. And the first one is, if even if you don't have Python, if you don't have anything from the scratch, you can download the package and then you can install the Ansible. So if you are installing yum Ansible command, it will automatically install the Python as well.
Okay.
Right. Let me zoom in. Is it visible? Is it visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just moving to root privileges. I used a sudo command. So here there is no password since it's an library. I mean, sorry, lab within the community. All right. So how we can able to check whether the Ansible is already present or not? Can you able to check using the command called Ansible space hyphen version. So if you use Ansible space hyphen version, it will show the version installed on the machine. Even if you type Ansible, then it's supposed to give some help information, right? But it does not show anything, which means Ansible is not installed on this machine. You can check using the version command, or else you can just type Ansible. It's supposed to give some information. So based on the information, you can able to understand whether the Ansible is already installed or not. Okay, so now it is clear that Ansible is not available on the lab. So now I'm going to install Ansible. Let me try without downloading the package. Since it's an online community, right? So it might be having the package before. Yum install Ansible. Okay, so unable to find a match. Okay, so now we are installing Ansible core, right? Okay, so previously, if you are using Ansible, it will work. Now it is asking to enter the correct name. Okay, so this is command I used to install the Ansible core on the lab. So we have to use yum followed by space followed by install and followed by space and then Ansible hyphen core. Right. How many of you can able to install? So if you could not able to install, please let me know. I will give you the present access. So probably you can present your screen, share your screen, and then we will look into that issue. So this is something we can troubleshoot and we can fix the problem together. Since we don't have any lab session separately, so whatever I'm trying to do here, so you can replicate in your site and you can try it to yourself. So if you have any questions, you can ask me at the time, and if you have any issues, we can troubleshoot together. Is anyone facing any challenges? So let me check the version installed. So it is installed with the latest version, and if you see here, Python also installed. So Python version is 3.12. So Jinja also installed Jinja template we might use. We will learn about Jinja template later. So how many of you can able to install?
It's going on.
Okay, okay. So anyone facing the challenges or issues?
I'm trying now on the lab actually. I tried on my personal machine, but I think it
Ah,
requires a Red Hat subscription to be active. I think I don't have an active
okay,
subscription, so probably I'll install
okay.
it on the lab.
Yep, yep. The problem is we need a subscription, satellite subscription, right? So
They were giving
if
the developer subscription for free, right? Have they stopped it?
yes, 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 still it's there actually.
It's there, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. This is very simple installation when compared to other configuration management tools. Even Salt Stack and Puppet, Chef and all, having some other additional steps. So this is very pretty much simple steps. So let me know once you guys install the Ansible. So probably we'll go with the configuration part. To verify the Ansible installation, use Ansible version to know the version of. Is anyone still installing the Ansible? Okay. All right. So once you install, you can able to verify using Ansible hyphen version command to know the version and Python version and all. So by default, the Ansible configuration file be available on etc Ansible folder. You can able to find from here as well. So Ansible configuration CFG is the file which is having the entire Ansible configuration information. So let me go to that file. E slash
Aditya,
etc. Okay, yeah, tell me.
can you please guide to how to start? Can I share my screen?
Yes, yeah, sure. Once again, is Ramesh or Nikhil?
Yeah, Ramesh.
Ramesh, okay. Given the access, please share your screen.
You able to see my screen?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so all right. So now you are in DevOps user. So probably you can sudo to root first. Sudo space su space su space hyphen enter. Okay, now you become root. So it is recommended to use root. So now you are root. So now you can able to install Ansible. M space hyphen y space install yum so not m yum. Not here. You started with the m, right? So it's not m. It's yum. Yum.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So why have used hyphen y means if you are not using hyphen y, which it will ask you to provide yes or no, right? So if you want to skip that yes, you can provide hyphen y here itself, and followed by space Ansible hyphen core core without space hyphen core is the without space here.
Is it fine?
Just remove the space. Just remove the
Okay.
space. Ansible hyphen core. Yeah. Enter. So previously, if you are entering only Ansible, it will Ansible core as the default. Now it is asking to give the entire name Ansible. Yeah. Now your Ansible is ready. You can verify using hyphen version. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So let yeah, welcome. Let me share again. Okay. So as I said before, if you are using online lab, please make sure to copy the command and put it in your local file. So even if you are writing the playbook, just make a copy and put it in your local, uh, since once the session is out, you can't able to retrieve the data. Okay, and the IP also will be changed. So if you see here, currently, what is the IP? Fig. So this is my IP, current IP. If the session is out, if I'm using, connecting back, the IP will be changed. All right. So let's come back to Ansible stuff. So once we installed, we can able to find using Ansible hyphen version to know the Python version, to know the Ansible version. So if you want to understand what is installed by default, what is available by default, you can navigate to /etc/Ansible. So this is the folder, which is available by default after the installation. So under this folder, we have two files and one folder. So roles is the folder. So if you do the ls on roles, it does not have any files. It just has empty folder. So we will learn about roles, in few, after few classes. Now we will focus on Ansible core. So here, host is the file. So this is the file which we are calling as inventory. So by default, there is a file which is available under etc Ansible with the name of host. So this is the default inventory file in Ansible. So let me do that vi space host. So vi is the editor command in Linux. So you can use vi or else vim editor. So if you check the content of that file, so all the lines are commented. So all the lines are commented. Commented means it's already not in use. So why it is available by default? This is just for the information, to the users. So this is the default Ansible host file, which is treated as the inventory. So we can create the inventory or we can make use of this file with these specified formats. So if you learn from here, so this is the example one. So you can give ungrouped host. So as I said before, you have lot of machines, right? So under that hat, you might have different naming convention. For example, red hat 01, red hat 02. Likewise, you might have red hat. This is the host name, right? So 300. 300 is the last one. So this is your server name or host name. So this is, you have to provide your FQDN. It is always recommended to use FQDN, or else you can use IP address. Don't use short host name. So if you use short host name, it could not be able to reach. So it is always recommended to use FQDN or else IP address. Okay, so you can give all inventory host one by one here. This is called ungrouped host. So if you want to group as a collection or group the set of servers, you can use like this. So this is the web servers. So under the web servers group, you can put all your web servers, either FQDN or else IP address. Even if you have in sequence, sequence means like this 0012 to 006, you can provide like this. It will take the same pattern. This is called pattern matching. So regex pattern matching. So whenever if we have like this, for example, here I used that had 012 like this. So you can use pattern as well. So this is the constant one. This number is changing, right? You can use like this, and it will take care of the entire that host name. So you can use pattern matching. You can use you can group the servers as a inventory group. So and you can create database servers. Even as I said before, right? So you have different server set of servers under the application server. So in the application server, you might have the dat, you might have Windows, you might have that CentOS. You can group like that: DB servers hyphen Windows, DB servers hyphen Linux, DB servers hyphen Red Hat. You can name, give the appropriate name, and then you can give, the entire list as it is. Okay. So under the Debian, they created two. So OpenSUSE they provided. So this is the combination you can make use of it. So that's why they just given as a documentation. So this is the default inventory file. So if you want to add a new, you know, control node, I mean the server name, you can just remove the entire lines and then you can add. Others you just give, the line which you want to add at the beginning. Just simply storing. So currently I don't have any host in the inventory file. So whatever it's already there, it's already commented, and there is no active inventory. Any questions till now? So are you clear with the host file? What is host file, and how we can make use of host file?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is configuration file vi ansible.cfg. So this is the main file. So usually before Ansible 2.12, you can able to find the entire configuration file uh, as it is here. But after 2.12 Ansible, they disable the configuration, and they given the command to enable the configuration again. So if you want to know how the configuration file looks like and what are the options are available, then you can just copy this one and put it in the new tab. Yeah. All right. So before 2.12, you can able to find the same type of content. It's having around 500 lines. Yeah, 490 lines. So what is all about? This is the entire configuration file. So if you want to, it's having the default values. For example, as I said, etc ansible host is the inventory file, right? Suppose if you don't want the default inventory, so you are going to create the inventory in some other path, some other folder. So you can just give the path here. You just need to uncomment this one, and then you can provide the path, just file name, path followed by the file name. It is not necessary to use the default inventory file. You can create your own inventory file and then you can put it here. Even if you are not ready to update here, you can override when running the playbook itself. We can learn about that one. So this is the inventory file, and also this is the module name. If you are going to create your own module, you can use this one, and it's having a lot of information. It is having around 400 something lines, right? So each line having different properties. So I will give you the high level information and also the most important properties. So this is inventory, and second, folks. So folks is nothing but parallelism. How many of you know parallelism? Parallelism is nothing but if you want to shut down or reboot 100 machines or 1000 machines at a time. Okay, so you can do it 10 machines at a time or 20 machines at a time instead of doing the entire things. So parallelly you can achieve parallelly 10 machines or 20 machines you can able to achieve the task. You can able to run your playbook. So by default the forks is 5, which means at the time it will execute on 5 machines. The playbook will be executed on 5 machines. So if you have 300 return machines, so if you added entire machines in the inventory file. So if you are running against the file, if you are running against the 300 servers, so what will happen? It won't run for entire 300 machines. It will run only for 5 machines at a time. And then once the job is completed, then it will go another set of 5. Likewise, it will go and run the execution. Suppose you want to control that parallelism, you can make use of forks and then value. So forks value 5 means by default it will reach 5 machines at a time. So if you want to add more parallelism, you can increase the number, or if you want to reduce the parallelism, you can just reduce the number 1 or 2. You can it is not necessary to control here itself. If we are using configuration file itself, it will be common for entire automation ansible. But if you want to change the value at specific playbook level, then you can override in the playbook itself. So we will learn about that one later. So if you are applying any changes here, it will be common for entire playbooks. It will be common for all ansibles. That's what I'm saying. So poll interval means it is waiting for it will try to connect the servers for 15 seconds. And sudo user is by default root, and it will ask you for sudo password is true, and the default port is 22 since it is using SSH communication. The next one. Okay, so we will learn about the gathering facts, after some time. So, okay, so whenever, the communication is happened, so what Ansible will do, it will check the network connectivity, whether it is reachable or not. So once it is reachable, it will fetch the information about the servers. It's a system property. So how many of you know system information on Windows? Sysinfo, some command is there, right? If you are using that command, it
Yeah,
will provide the entire system
all the
information.
system.
Yes, yeah, like CPU, memory, disk, and power supply. So it will provide the basic set of informations, IP address, host name. So those basic set of information will be fetched after the connection is established. So that's called gathering the facts about the client machines. So there is some interval time and for that. So by default is 10 seconds. So if you want to increase the time, you can increase here itself. So by default for the roles, it's inside the etc ansible roles. So if you want to create a separate role file, you can make use of that. We will learn about what is roles and all. Host key chickens. Okay, so this is the standard output callback. This is one of the plugin. So we have a lot of values here. So by default it is using skippy. So it is nothing but if you are running the playbook, it will provide some execution result, right? So if you want to change the format of that result, you can make use of standard output callback. So we will have some example for this one. So at the time it will be very easy to understand. So for SSH timeout, you can change here. So by default, it's 10 seconds. So by default, it is using the root as the remote user. So if you are creating a separate user for all the automation stuff, for the especially Ansible side, you can give that Ansible user here. Even this one also we can override, for specific playbooks. So whatever the values are here, it is common for entire Ansible playbook, entire Ansible. So you can override for specific playbook also possible. Right. Okay, back to this one. Okay, so after 2.12, you can't able to see the entire value. So it is already disabled. Why they disabled? Because of some security reason. The reason behind is, if you have the data, you can able to modify the values, right? So that's why it is recommended to modify if you know very well on the value passed. So, for example, you supposed to aware of what is the purpose of this, key and also the value, right? Uh, so here after 2.12, if you want to override the changes, you can override, still override. You can edit the file, and then you can just override with the values. For example, I am going to override this one. Where it is, going to override this value. Folks, folks equal to, instead of 10, it's supposed to take, sorry, instead of 5, it's supposed to take 10. Then at the end of the line, I will add new line, and then I can able to add 10. But we have header as well. So what is the header? Default is the header. So we have to make sure to do this section header and also the corresponding property value. So under the default, I'm just overriding folks value. So once you saved this data, so automatically, it will take folks 10 instead of folks 5. So this is how you can able to override the ansible.cfg file after 2.12. So if you are using the older version of Ansible, you might have the entire data available and visible. You can able to modify it without overriding. So is it clear with the Ansible configuration file? Any questions? Any?
Yeah, what are the main parameters we change in the CFG file?
Yeah. So this what. So if you want to use, okay. So if you want to use um, different inventory file other than default file, you can change it. If you want to change the fork values, I mean parallelism value, forks value, you can able to change it. If you want to increase the timeout, SSH timeout, or gathering facts timeout, or other values, you can override. And if you want to use the specific format, output format, you can change that output format, sd out, callback. If you want to change the users, instead of root, you want to use only Ansible user or some other service account or some other users for all the automation purpose, you can just use that username. So whatever you think it's common for all your automation platform Ansible playbooks, then you can override here. But if you think the specific things is applied to specific playbooks, then you can override in the playbook level, not on the common configuration file.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.
So the question
All right.
regarding the forks,
Hmm.
um,
Ah.
so on what, so for an example, if I give forks equal to 5 at a
Hmm.
time, so if my playbook is going to execute on 15 hosts, at a time, is it like it'll go and run on 5 hosts? So on what basis or on what condition it'll go
Hmm.
to the next set of 5 hosts?
Okay, all right. So okay, so consider you are going to run the playbook again against this DB servers group.
Hmm.
So currently the DB servers group having four servers,
Correct.
right? So now by default Fox is 5. Okay, so
Yep.
consider Fox is 1. Okay,
Yep.
Fox is 2. So consider Fox is 2, which mean it will take two servers first. Fox 2 mean it will take the two servers and it will execute the playbook on two servers. So if the first execution is successfully completed, then it will take another one. So
So
if this is both things completed, it will take another set of two. So at the time, only two jobs will be executed.
so you mean that it will come sequentially, or it will take random any two hosts?
It is a sequence basis, so it is not random. First it will take the first one, and then second one is a sequence order.
Okay, so if the condition fails, for an example,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
db2 db02.intranet.mydomain.net, so that server
Hmm.
is down or some reasons it's not
Okay.
reachable. So in
Hmm.
that case, the condition fails, or still it will go to the next set of two hosts, or the playbook
Okay.
fails.
Okay, so it's a good question actually. Okay, so is everything is logic. So by default, if something is running, for example, if it is running on DB servers, so it will check the connectivity first. First, whether it's reachable or not, it will check when pinging by default. It will check the ping. So once it's pingable, then it will go and fetch the server information, and then it will go and do the job execution. Right? If something is broken, something is down, it is not reachable, then it is always come out of the playbook, so it won't run for other servers. So there is something happen, the execution will stop. So if you want to continue on the other set of servers, you can control the logic using exception handling mechanism. Others, you have one more additional arguments on the task. We will learn about that one later point. But it by default it will terminate the execution and it will come back
Okay,
even for
so
once instances is down.
so even still we can
Yes.
declare, or we can mention in the playbook, like if any host are failed, so you can
Hmm.
ignore that and go to the next host. Is that
Yes,
possible?
you can ignore the errors and then you can continue with the other host. It is possible actually.
Okay. Okay.
You can control your playbook, based on the logics and based on the attributes. So it is possible, I would say.
Okay.
So by default, it won't work, but it is possible to add the logic in order to execute the other servers if something is broken or something is not working. You can ignore the errors and that's it. So if it is down, it will give an error and then it will come out of the execution. But if you want to remove that errors, then it will go and execute for other set of servers. So it is possible.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Any other questions?
Uh, uh, Basically, that once you install the ansible.cfg file, so this file is empty. So if you open that file, so it will be
It, it
great.
is it, it, it is not empty. So what
Um,
happened? It is having some
yeah, if you
information like
get that file, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So if you see here,
yeah,
since 2.12, now we have 2.16 version. So
yeah.
this machine having 2.16, right? So after 2.12, they disabled the entire information. So
Mm.
basically, this set of information supposed to be there. This is the Ansible CFG file. So this is again 2.9 version. Okay, so before 2.12, we supposed to have all the informations. It will be visible here. But after 2.12, they disabled. They disabled means we could not able to see here, but it will be there.
Okay.
So you can able to override that value like this. So for that purpose only they provided 2.9 for reference.
Okay. And
Others
one
you can
more,
use this one. Yeah.
the third line or the second line, to
Ah,
generate an example config file, disabled
mm,
on one host. So if I run that command, so
mm.
it is generating that ansible.cfg file, the file
Yeah.
which you're showing in that GitHub.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So you can use this one. This is the command. So if you okay, you can take it as a reference from GitHub, or else you can use this one to create another configuration file. So if you see Ansible, yeah. So now you can able to see the all the values. I think so. They changed the format.
Yeah, which gives a lot of values. So
Yes, yes. So we have an 495 lines. So all
okay.
490 lines. So all data will be there actually, but it's in some different format. But whatever you're seeing here, it will be there in that file. Same data.
Okay. Okay.
The
Okay.
transport is SSH. Timeout is 10. But if you see here, here timeout will be there. So it will be like this SSH timeout. Here it is something like this. So they given the data type, whether it accept only integer, it accept string. They added some extra features, to provide information to the users. So it will accept only string, it will accept only boolean. So they want some additional information. Previously, it does not have any information, so you can able to modify the data based on the existing data.
So which one here supposed to use, the latest one or the which one available in the Git?
Yeah, you can use. Okay, so what the property and name is same. Only
Okay.
they just changed the comments. I mean, comments means the documentation things to understand better. So the transport is still transport equal to SSH only. There is no changes and all on the properties and values. Transport. Yeah, you see here transport equal to smart. So here they changed with transport equal to SSH. So if you see here, there is also special smart option that will toggle between SSH and parameter depends on the controller OS and SSH versions. Okay, so this is the latest configuration file. But whatever you are seeing the properties, it's still same. Just they changed the value based on the user, for user understandability and also user friendly. All right. Any other question?
No, but still the host path, configuration path, and the fork values, everything similar here, right?
Everything similar. You can able to find it also.
Because those are the
Control
important
colon
values.
4, right? Fork,
Slash
yes, yes.
forks.
Slash fork, right? Bottom, yeah. So see here, everything will be there. So they won't remove anything. So fork 5 is there. So you just need to change with some other one. Edit this page and change it to some other one.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go through one by one. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So okay, we'll go for break after this one. Okay, so inventory we can create it as a group. You can give a proper name. So under the dev servers, you can provide all your dev servers IP address or FQDN. So under web servers, you can provide all your web servers. Even if you have subset also, you can provide those subset. For example, web servers Windows, web servers Linux, web servers Red Hat. So you can provide a child group as well. So if you want to combine a child group together, we can use all servers as some name and followed by colon, followed by children, and then you can provide your child groups. So I just group dev servers and web servers together with all servers. So whenever I'm calling all servers, it will go and execute for both say dev servers and web servers. If you are calling only dev servers, it will go and execute for only dev servers.
So in inventory file only we are giving the target machine IPs.
Exactly.
Okay. In host file, what we are giving then?
Host file is the file name. Basically, is the inventory file name. So I mean the same file. It's called as inventory file. Host is the file name, which is called as the inventory file.
So both are same.
You got my point? Both are same. That's what I'm saying. Host is the file name, but we are considering that file as the default inventory file. But if you want to
But
create your own file, you can create your own file also. You can provide any name, ABC, anything.
okay, so host name is not static. You can have multiple names based on the environment and things like that. Is that right?
Exactly. Host name is not static. Yeah, it might be different. Yeah.
And the
Okay.
same
So
with
yeah, what I'm telling. So we have host HOSTS. This is the file, right? So if you do cats, it contains the some template. This is the template. All data are commented, right? So what I'm telling, you can create your inventory file like this. So the host file is the default inventory file. This is the inventory file basically. Okay, you can create a groups within the inventory file. So the default inventory file is host file. So if you want to create your own inventory file, you can create your own file. Is not only use the existing host file. You can create your own file with the any name. Still, you have
what will
interface
be
with
the
the
extension
inventory.
for that?
No extensions, just file name.
No extension, just
No,
as
no,
file.
yes, just a file name.
There is
So
a
if you
folder
see,
called roles. What is that?
yeah, so roles, if you see, there is no files within that roles. So roles is nothing but we will Ansible roles we will learn in module 8, module 7 or 8. We will learn about Ansible roles. So on the high level, it's a structured manner of organizing your playbooks. It's a definition of roles. So currently we are going to create a playbook for to perform some automation task, right? So if you want to make use of roles, you can put all playbook into pieces of code. So we have a different structure we will follow in playbook. So those structures will be uh, you know uh, splitted into multiple files, and we can put it across the files, and roles, if you are running the roles, it will be automatically taken care of the structure of the playbook. So we will learn about that one later, but on the high level it's a structured way of organizing your playbook.
Um,
Any other
sorry.
question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have a question on the variable declaration on the
Mhm.
host file.
Yeah.
Can you go to that PPT? Yeah. So
Yes.
here,
Yes.
all servers colon children is there. Can you tell
Okay.
me that which one I have
Alex.
to call in the
Yep.
playbook?
Sure. Sure. Alex. So I haven't explained this one. So I just explained individual group.
Oh, sorry.
And
Yeah.
if you want to, if you want to combine the groups, you can combine like this. So all servers the variable, I mean group name, again group name, and followed by keyword. You have supposed to use the children. You don't change this one. Variable name colon children. This is the parent group. Under this you can provide your child groups like this. Is it clear, right?
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not quite, but on what
Okay.
condition we use this? Can you give some
Okay.
use
Yes.
case?
Yes. Sure, sure. Yeah. Use case. Okay. Suppose if you want to run something on the. Okay. So for example, if you want to run something on the Red Hat. Okay. So you
Yeah,
can provide Red Hat group. If you
yeah,
want to run something on the Ubuntu, you can provide Ubuntu group.
yeah.
If you want to run on the entire UAT machines,
Hmm.
right? If you want to use the, if you want to run the same playbook or same task for entire UAT machines, then you can use, all child group under UAT. So now how it will be like, I'm going to create a group called UAT, and it's a children of Red Hat group, children of Windows. So if you want to run the playbook against all UAT machines, you need to call only UAT. So under that,
Okay.
whatever the subgroups are there, child groups, subgroups are there, it will taken care everything. It will run in a sequence manner.
So here the children is the keyword that should not change.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So children is a keyword; it does not change. This is the name of the group name. You can give the proper name, but children is a keyword. You does not change anything.
Got it. Yep. Thanks.
All right. Okay. So now comes to variables. So you can provide the list of you know client machines here in the inventory file, and also you can create a variables for your inventory. How we can able to create? You can create a variables. This is all is the group name. So for all, I am creating a variable. So I have to use was. So how we use children as the keyword? We have to use was as the keyword. So you could not able to change this one. So under the was, we can create a variable equal to value. So ansible underscore user equal to ec2 user. So whenever your list of servers, right? For example, okay, so here I used all. Instead, I will change it with all server. All servers. Okay, makes sense. Okay. Alright. So okay. So once you decided to create a variable, so what you have to do, on which group you supposed to create a variable. So if you want to create a variable against the all server group, then you can make use of the group name and followed by colon and followed by was. So under that you can create a variable which is associated, which is going to use for all servers associated with the group. So Ansible underscore user is the user variable which is supposed to use for all servers under the all servers group. So by default, Ansible underscore user equal to root. If you want to change the value of that for particular servers group, then you can create a variables and you can make use of username here.
So
Is it clear?
provided this EC2 user should have the sudo privilege or whatever privileges, special
Hmm.
privileges on the all servers users, all
Exactly,
servers.
exactly. Yes, yes.
And one more question, it must be the stupid question, but okay. In the first one, all servers colon children, there is a space, but here all
Yeah,
servers
yeah,
var is not space. So is that
yeah.
okay
No, no.
or
Okay. So it is always give this space, but I
okay?
typo I type
Ah,
right,
okay,
so
okay, okay, okay. I thought
mistakenly
of anything will accept it, so
uh,
that's
anything you tell accept. Yeah.
okay, okay.
All right. So we take a 10 minutes break, and then we'll continue with the client how we can what how the communication will happen from management machine to client machine.
Class is still 7:30 or 8?
8 actually. Usually we 5 to 8. Last week we have only introduction, so I have completed earlier.
These recordings will be uploaded by today itself, right?
Yeah, mostly it will be uploaded by today. So Stan will be uploading by today. Others tomorrow morning also he will do if he is busy today.
Okay.
Mostly it will be available. Some cases tomorrow will be available. Okay. Okay. So if you want to check the number of the list of hosts which is present on the inventory file, so you can do VI and then you can check. Others you can use the command Ansible command to check the list of hosts. So the command is Ansible space all space hyphen list hyphen hosts. So it will provide the list of hosts which is present on the default inventory file. So what is the default inventory file? etc Ansible host is the default inventory file. Default inventory file is under the etc we have Ansible folder and then host. So this is the host is the default inventory file. So how do we confirm whether this is the default inventory file? We
Ansible
can able
config
to
it's
find that exactly. So under the Ansible config, under the default groups or section, so the inventory which is specified with this file name. So whatever it is available under the default, it's the default configuration, default values. So now host is the default inventory file. Okay. So now we are going to communicate with client machine. So how we can able to communicate is by default Ansible uses port number 22, and it uses the SSH connectivity. So all the Linux machines are already enabled with that port and SSH. So no need to do anything on the connectivity part other than property changes. So the property changes is on the, so especially we are just making the communication between Ansible nodes and also with the client nodes, only on the Linux client nodes, not on the Windows client nodes. We will learn about Windows upcoming classes. So if you are especially looking for Windows automation, we will learn about that. So currently, whatever we are learning is only for Linux machines. So, but this is the problem with the online lab. So if session is timed out, then we have to do from the scratch. So again, I have to install with the Ansible.
It's already installed, right? Why we have to install again now?
Yeah, so as I just told about the online editor. So the online editor, so if the session is timed out, then again if you are starting the instances, it will come up with the new version instance. I mean the IP address itself, it will be changed. So from the scratch you have to do. So that's why I told
But
whenever you're using the labs, so the existing data will be erased. So the new instance will be come out. So you have to make sure to copy the code and then put it on your local machine.
okay, suppose if we write any playbook.yaml file, everything will go.
Yes, exactly. So whatever you are doing the changes, it will go. So you have to, if you are creating a playbook, just do the cat and then copy that playbook and put it in your local notepad or some Word document for future reference. So that's why I am not recommending this one. So I would recommend to go with cloud or Oracle Virtual Box, others vSphere client, VMbox. Okay, now Ansible is there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the IP address of this machine. So this is the IP. I'm just copying the IP. So management node is this one. So instead of going with the client machine, so I'm going to use this Ansible machine as client machine. Okay. So in your case, if you have multiple machines, and then the machine which you installed Ansible is the master node. So other machines are client nodes. So you have to do it on your client nodes. So what you have to do, you have to go to navigate with etc ssh, and then find the sssht config file. So cd etc ssh sssht config. Okay. So in that sssht configuration file, so you have to look for two changes, two properties. So one is sorry. So one is you have to check permit root login. So permit root login supposed to be yes, and password authentication supposed to be yes. If it is no, then make sure to change with yes. So currently it is permit root login yes, and also password authentication here uh, is updated with no, right? So I'm going to change with yes. So in your client machine, so this change is supposed to be done on your client machines, not on your management or Ansible server. So on the client node, you have to navigate with sshd config file, and then look for these two properties, and those two properties supposed to be enabled, supposed to be yes. So uh, can you do it now?
This is for Ansible, which we installed that machine or remote.
No, remote machine, I mean other machines, other client node which you supposed to control from your Ansible master.
Okay.
So most cases it will be yes. Sometime if it is no, then you could not able to communicate with this one. This is the one time activity for establishing connection between your Ansible server to client machines. So please let me know once you're done with these changes, and I will put it on the chat as well.
So will you share this PPT as well, right? Along with the recording.
I won't share the PPT, but I will share all the content in GitHub. Yeah. So once you verified the changes, if it is already available, then it's fine. But if it is not yes, then you have to modify with yes value, and then save the file. So once you saved, you have to restart the SSHD. So this is the command we have to use for service restart. System cpl sshd start start sshd. So once you make the changes, you have to restart the service SSHD service. So let me know if you face any issues. Thanks Mr. for confirming. Kamal also given the heads up. Right. So once you restarted the SSHD service, then there is no change done on the client machine. So only those two changes supposed to be done on the client machines. One is to verify and make the changes on those two properties, root login and also password authentication. Second, we have to restart the service after you make the changes. So if you are not making any changes, then it's fine. So if you are changing with yes, then you have to make sure to restart the service. So those two changes supposed to be done on the client machines. So how many have you done? Still you are doing? Can you proceed with the Ansible changes? So currently I don't have any client machines. I am using Ansible server, as the client machine. So this is the master and slave as single server on the same machines. This is done. All right. So next one, those two changes supposed to be done on the all client machine. So now we have to communicate from Ansible server to that client machines, right? So what we have to do, we have to use SSH key gen. So SSH hyphen key gen is a command to generate the key. So you have to use SSH hyphen key gen command, and it will ask you to enter the file. So by default, it will be there in root.ssh, id underscore rca. So no need to provide any values here. Just enter with the empty value. So it will ask you to override. Then enter the y. Yes. So if they are if it is asking for password, no need to enter anything. Just enter without any values. So now there is a SHA key is created. So how many have you done with the key generation? So do you want more time? Shall we proceed with further steps? So now you have generated a key in your Ansible server. So once you generated the key, you have to copy that key into your client machine for the connectivity, for the connection. So how we can able to do using SSH copy ID. So SSH copy -id is the command to copy your RSA token to client machine. So now you have to tell tell the machine which server you are going to copy. So the destination server you have to provide here. So on the destination and also for the communication, you have to mention which user you're supposed to use. So by default, you can use root at IP address of the client machine. So this is the client server IP address. So it will ask you to enter the to continue connecting. You have to provide yes. Now it shows one key added, which means successfully added. thanks Venkat for the confirmation. How about others? Have you done with key generation and copied that key into your client machine? This is the client machine. So from master, you have to do two steps again. One is to generate the key, and second, you have to push that key into your client machines.
Suppose if we want to copy 100 of machines means we have to do the same or
Yes, you have to do this same. Basically, how we can do is you have to create one shell script. It will be easy to do at once instead of doing one by one.
okay.
This is one-time activity for establishing connection between Ansible server all the client machines. Okay. So now we have to verify that whether it is the communication will happen or not. We have to make sure, right? So we can use the Ansible attack command. So Ansible is the command uh, we have to use start with Ansible keyword and then followed by yum ping followed by okay, right. All right. So once you copied the key, so what we have to do? Our host is empty. So for the verification, I plan to execute a module called ping module. So Ansible is the keyword, is the ada command. We have to use Ansible keyword. So okay, first of all, let me explain what is ada command. How many of you know ada command? Order command is nothing but whenever you are going to do some day-to-day activity. So for the quick check of quick information, you have to fetch it from the client machines. A quick modification you have to do from Ansible to uh, client machines. You can make use of order commands. So playbook is the whenever you are going to use same kind of scenario, same kind of things repeatedly, you can go with playbooks. But for the interim base or from for ad hoc basis, if you are going to do something, so for example, you are getting some ticket. So the ticket might be McAfee is down. Okay, so the antivirus McAfee is down. You are getting an alert. So for that, you have to verify that the really the status of McAfee is down or still healthy. So which means instead of logging into that server and checking the service status from the centralized Ansible server, you can make use to verify the same using attack command. So from attack command, it will be easy for you to control all the machines, right? From Ansible. So using the command line, you can able to verify that instead of logging into the server. So whenever you are going to reboot the 100 machines, it will be easy for you handle from attack command. So attack command is the way of doing the things on the go. On the go. So let me go with one other command. So Ansible is the keyword, uh, you know, for other command, and -m is for module. So this is Ansible module. We are going to make use -m attribute, and then followed by module name. So we have lot of module name. So ping is the module used to check whether the server is reachable or not. So most of the modules looks like usual command. So ping you might use it as a command, yum you might use it as the command, copy you might use it as the command. So whatever you are using as the command, Linux command, it is converted as Ansible module. So same name, but it is treated as Ansible module. Okay, how you can able to verify the list of modules means you can navigate with Ansible hyphen doc is the documentation command, and followed by, so if you use Ansible hyphen doc and followed by module name, it will provide the information about module. So it will explain what is being module about and what are the mandatory options. So what are the optional options or parameters. So and also it will provide the examples as well. So suppose if you don't know the um, if you want to know the entire module, then you can use Ansible hyphen doc hyphen list. It will provide the entire module, the Ansible module. We have lot of modules available. So now back to our ADA command to verify that whether the connectivity is happening, whether the client machine is reachable from Ansible machine. You can make use of Ansible module ping. So Ansible is the command. Whenever you are going to use ADA command, you use Ansible command and followed by hyphen m for module, and you have to provide the module, which module you are supposed to execute, and followed by the inventory. So on which host you are going to, on which client node you are going to check. So this is the client node I have provided. So if I'm running this command, so I'm getting a warning like the host list is empty. Only local host is available. Okay. So which mean our Ansible, so how about our inventory? Our inventory is default inventory is it is Ansible host file, right? So if you see here, there is no client machines we added. So these are the default one which is already given as a template and it's commented out. So now what we have to do, we have to add our client machines here. What is the client machines? So this is the client machine, right? So I am going to add this client machine in the inventory file. Okay, I'm saving this file. So now I'm just verifying that Ansible list host. So if I'm using Ansible all list host, it will provide the number of hosts which is available on the inventory file. So currently we have only one host, which is the client host, which I have added recently. Is it clear? Do you have any questions till now?
So only from server side we have to add the target machine. So nothing to do from the target
Ex-
side, right?
exactly. So on the target machines, you have to make sure those two properties, and you have to restart the services, SSHD services after changing those two properties. So that's it from client side. It's a single time investment. So after that, everything you have to control from Ansible server. So this is from Ansible server, just managing the client
Uh,
machines.
Arvind, what are the ports to be opened on the client machine?
Okay, so by default it uses port number 22 SSH connectivity. So there is no need to open any port. Um, Port number is 22, and it uses the protocol
That is on
SSH.
Unix and
SSH
Linux servers, right?
exactly, exactly.
And
So
for
we were
Windows,
talking. So for Windows, it is different. So it is using for Windows. We will learn about this one, but on the high level, I'm still providing. I think protocol spelling is wrong. Okay. On the Linux,
Any specific reason why most of the companies are using Ansible than Puppet, Chef, and Saltstack?
yeah,
Only
just a
SSH.
minute. Just a minute. 5985. So 5985 for HTTP, 5986 for HTTPS. Okay. Okay. So your question answered, right? So you are asking about a Windows
yeah,
port.
yeah. Thanks.
Correct. Right. So again,
Can you ping that in the chat? The Windows
sure.
stuff.
I will bring. Yeah. Anyway, we will learn about Windows later. But since you guys asked, I'm just giving right away.
Yeah, and one more thing, the ping module. So where I can check this module in the Linux server side?
Once again, Kamal, you have a question about Ansible.
Yeah,
Ansible. Doc.
most of the companies are asking Ansible only. It's, comparing to Puppet or Chef or Saltstack. Is that
Yeah.
because of Python? Because of Python with Ansible or any other reason?
Okay. Okay. So I already answered this question last week, but again, I will tell you. So when compared to all four, softwares or applications, so if you see, the installation is very easy since this is not an agent based. It's an agentless. Okay. So other three Puppet, Chef, Salt Stack are agent based. So we have to install the agent across all the client nodes. So suppose we have 3,000 servers in your environment or 10,000 servers in your environment. Install agent on all the machines. It's not only installation; we have to do some configuration as well. So it's a time consuming. It will take some time, and managing itself is somewhat difficult when compared to Ansible. So the first one is agentless and simple and easy to set up. So that's why Ansible is the powerful. So next one is performance wise. It is very easy. It is very high performance. If you are doing multiple jobs at a time, when compared to other Puppet or Chef, it will be easy to manage and easy to write the code. And easy to execution also very much fast. So that's why they are using Ansible other than others applications.
So when
And
we have
also
some activity performing on the host, it is
mm,
lightweight, doesn't consume much of a processing at the client end. Say for example, you are trying to enable
it's
something. So
mm,
this is
yes.
since it is a lightweight agentless
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
thing.
exactly. So the process consumption also is very less actually. So if you are going to do much change, if you are going to install the Apache, and also after that you are doing the configuration, and then you are restarting the services, and you are doing lot of stuff on the same machines, and the load performance is does not affect. So it will run sequentially, and also it won't take much payload on the servers. So the performance somewhat increase. So you can control the execution using the forks parallelism. So that's why we have a lot of mechanisms there. You can control the execution. You can, if something is broken, you can do the exception handling. You can stop the execution. Others you can bypass that failure and proceed with the other execution. So lot of control mechanisms there, and the performance also somewhat high when compared to other you know, configuration management tools. So, do you have any other questions? Your question is answered, right?
Yeah, Aditya.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, we once you have established a connection, so how we can able to verify the connection is successfully done. You can use ada command to verify that. So the simple ada command is ansible -n ping and followed by the client machine. Suppose you have to verify for 100 client machines, 1000 client machines. So how we can able to do that? I'm just asking. So I already given some highlights. So probably I'm expecting someone's play on this one. So here I have given only one client machine. Suppose I have to ping multiple client machines. How we can able to achieve in the ADA command?
No, you have a grouping, right? So you can group in the
Exactly,
group name.
exactly. So we have to create a group in the host file. So under the host, just create a group, and within that group, you can provide the entire list, and then instead of single server IOP, you just give the group name. For example, Linux. So for example, web app Linux. So something the meaningful name which you are giving, right? So you have to provide that name. So it will execute for that group name. And also there is one more additional point is you can provide all. If I provide all, then it will look for the entire inventory. It will take entire inventory systems, and it will execute for all. So if you are going to apply for particular groups, you have to provide the group name. So if you are going to provide, for particular client machine, you can provide the IP address. So if you are going to, apply for entire inventory, you can use all. So Ansible -m ping in dot a dot something. So you can use this is for single. So this is for single client machine. So you can use uh, group name for group level verification. You can use all for inventory level. So the entire inventory. So what is the inventory? Host file, right? So the entire host file, whatever the servers are available on the host file, it will take the entire data and it will execute the command, the module. Is it clear? Do you have any questions?
No. So one quick question, like say the ping module
Yeah.
is there, right? So where we can check
Hmm.
that ping module in
Information
the
is it?
information? Yeah.
Okay. So uh, help system is there. So the help system is nothing but documentation. So Ansible documentation. So we can use the command called Ansible -doc. So this is the command. If you use list, you can able to find all the available modules. If you want to know particular module information, use Ansible doc followed by space followed by module name. If you are using Ansible doc p, it will provide the list of parameters associated with ping module, and also it will provide what is mandatory parameters and optional parameters, and also it will able to find the examples how to use this module and how to apply the parameters and all. You can able to understand from the documentation.
Okay. So that module written in Python.
Yes, exactly. So whatever we are talking about module is a Python module. So any other question?
Not
So
not for me.
yeah. So whatever you have used as a command like apt yum copy file ping debug service. So this is the command mostly we used. But here in the Ansible, this is called Ansible module. They have given the same name because of for easy understand. So if you are going to ping, we already know ping is the command to do for connectivity check. So they given the module name as the ping, so it will be easy for you to understand the usage of module. And mostly it is in Python based, but you can write the Ansible module in any other language as well. The only thing is it's supposed to accept the JSON format, and also it will give output as the JSON. But you can use any language, not in restriction with only Python. So the default one is already written in Python, and some Windows module you might see, right? So those modules are written in PowerShell. So to list out the entire module, I already told Ansible hyphen doc space hyphen list hyphen L. It will work. And if you want to read the particular module, you can use Ansible doc space followed by module. And again, the ping is only for servers and Linux servers. So if you want to check the connectivity for the Windows servers, we have to use win underscore ping. And if you want to check the network connectivity, I mean network devices connectivity, you can use net underscore ping. So the ping itself, it will vary based on the device, client devices. So whenever you are going to verify the connectivity for Linux machines, use ping. For Windows, win underscore ping module. For network devices, net underscore ping module. Don't use ping for all inventories, I mean all type of devices, right? So any other questions? Right, just a recap of today. So today we discussed about Ansible architecture, and then we discussed about so what is the control node, and what is the client node, and how the inventory looks. So how to create the inventory and how to group the servers, and also we installed the Ansible in one of the servers, and we make a connection between master server and client servers. We did two changes on client servers, and two changes on the master servers, I mean Ansible server, and we established a connection and verified using ada command, simple ada command. We used ping module to verify the same, and we learned about how to check the Ansible doc list of modules, and how to use the specific module for the documentation. So what are the options are there, how to use that module, those information will be there in the Ansible documentation. So any other questions for today's class? Nice. So I will take silence as no. Yep. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. So see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye bye.